Mistake is being desperate, okay? And I got this from a message that I preached a while back, titled 10 Commandments of Dating. And that was the very first one on my list, which is thou shalt not be desperate. I think one of the mistakes that single girls make is that desperation to be married causes them to do anything. And the problem, let me tell you the problem. I'm going to tell you. The problem is that men can smell desperation a mile away. You don't know that, but men can smell desperation a mile away. Another problem with being desperate is the fact that when you make decisions when you are desperate, you make the worst decisions ever. I'll give you an example, and I'll give you an example from the Bible. Remember the story of Esau and Jacob? So Esau was entitled to the birthright as the first son, but he was hungry. One day he came back from farming, he was very hungry. And if you've ever been hungry, you know that kind of hunger that even human beings start to look edible to you. You know that kind of hunger? No, maybe you don't know that kind of hunger, but there's that kind of hunger. So he was really hungry, very hungry. And then his brother was making this hot porridge, asaro. If you live in Nigeria, you know that one that is orange, it's almost red, you know, the one they serve with fish, fried fish. Exactly. So he came and his brother was making that kind of hot asaro, and he was really hungry. And he said, please give me porridge. And his brother said, I'll give you porridge on one condition. And he said, what? I'm hungry. And his brother said, if you will give me your birthright, I will give you this porridge. And his answer was, what is birthright to me if I'm dead? He said, please give me porridge, Jerry, and keep birthright. And his brother gave him that porridge, and that was how he lost his blessing. At the time when he wanted his blessing, his father said, I've given the blessing out, and I can't give it to you anymore. He lost his birthright. He lost the blessing. He lost his position as the first one because of hunger. He was desperate. And that's what desperation will do. It will make you choose people that you have no business being in a relationship with just because time is going. Just because you can't wait any longer, just because you are the only one that looks awkward among your friends. All of them are going out with guys, all of them are going out on a date, all of them are getting married, it's just you, you're tired of being a bridesmaid, so you are just getting desperate. And anybody, and that's when you start hearing things like, oh man, na man. Is he not a man? Marry him. And you know in your heart that this man is nothing like what you want. But because you've gotten to the point where you're desperate, you just accept anything. Second reason why desperation is so bad is the fact that it makes you do stupid things. Stupid things. So I remember, I'll give you an example. I remember when I was in, I was my second year. Yeah, I believe I was my second year in university. Second or third? I can't remember. I think my second year in university. And there was this season, you know that exam period, eh? There's one season, almost exam, not yet exam, almost exam, when like exam period time when things have run out, you run out of provisions, you run out of food stuff, so everybody's hungry. You know, there's always a season like that in school. And so all of us were hungry. I remember we were lying down in our room, me and my friends, and we were all lamenting about how hungry we were. And everybody was just going, hey, who get Gary, who get Gary? You know, everybody was just hungry and nobody had food. And then while I was lying down there, I just remembered that one of my friends was not feeling well, a guy. So I said, oh, so while he's lying down here, hunger won't keep person, let me just go and see him and check up on him and see if he's fine. And use the opportunity to also visit one of our leaders in fellowship. So I got there, and the guy was lying down. So I greeted him. It was my friend's brother. So I greeted him, and I was like, how are you feeling and everything? And then there was this hot bowl of rice, stew, and fried Titus fish I will never forget. Hot, fresh, was beside him, and the guy said, have you eaten? I said, no. He said, eat now, that he doesn't have appetite. And I said, this is why everybody's hungry, you're eating. So he now said, no, that he's not feeling well, that somebody brought it for him. So while I was sitting down there, and I was eating the food, one of our other friends, another guy came in and said, that me, I'm not ashamed, that I'm eating food that my mate brought. And I said, hey, please, who brought this food? And then he mentioned one of my roommates' names. I said, how is that even possible? I sure ate the food. I ate it very well, cleaned my mouth. I went to my room to go and gist my friends. I said, hey, people won't believe the blessing of God I received. I even ate cake. They gave me dessert because there was cake there as well. So I go back to the room and I told them, I said, you won't believe what happened to me now. I ate rice, stew, and Titus fish with cake, dessert. I got dessert. So I said, what happened? I said, And that is one of our roommates, so that she has food, let's harass her when they come back. He said it's not possible. She came back here and drank Gary now. So because of love, in quotes, she came to drink Gary, she cooked rice, stew, and this thing. Food that she could not give herself. She cooked it and went to give man. And this is what most girls do. Because you want to marry, you will go to his house early in the morning, you will go and sweep. You help his mother to wash clothes. The other day, somebody was saying, should she give her boyfriend's mother money monthly? Hey, God. Do you know the funny thing? That boy did not marry her. They are not married today. I kid you not. So she just suffered for nothing. And God being God and the Holy Spirit, knowing that he will send a raven to feed me in the time of famine, told me, my daughter, stand up for me and visit your friend. That's how I was fed that day. God showed up for me. But this girl came back and was lamenting in the room and drinking Gary. Girls, stop lowering your standards. Stop doing the things that you would not normally do just because you are desperate to be in a relationship. You know that the guy is not the kind of guy you like, but because you don't want to be the odd one out among your friends, you start doing silly things. You will go there. His friends will say, oh, we want to eat spaghetti bolognese. You go, you borrow money, you cook spaghetti bolognese. They'll be hailing you, our wife. This is normally what you will not do in your own life. You will not invest in your own life. But because you are desperate, you sleep with him, do anything he wants just to marry. And let me tell you, men are not externally motivated. Men are only internally motivated. Look, a woman is externally motivated. If you don't like a guy, if he takes you out, buys things for you, buys things for your friends that we vote, after a while, it's not looking so ugly anymore. He's such a nice guy. Your friends will say, he's very sweet. How can you not like him? Now for you. If it's me, I would have dated him. It's a lie. Because they want to be eating the shawarma he will be buying. They'll be telling you all these things. Because he has been nice to you, you start seeing him in a different light. So women can be, their feelings can be altered. They can be motivated by the things that happen. He spends money on you. He spends time with you. He says nice things to you. But a man is not like that. If you bring sex, the man will sleep with you. If you bring money, he will help you spend it. But if he does not like you, he does not like you. You cannot do anything to change how a man feels about you. A man has to genuinely like you to actually be in a relationship with you. So don't be desperate. Men can smell it a mile away. They will just use you and move on. So if you're a single person, enjoy this season of being single. Have fun, relax. Don't lower your standards just because you want to be in a relationship, okay? So that's the first mistake most singles make, being desperate. The second mistake, having unrealistic lists. The funny thing about this thing is that, I've met a lot of women who are single today, and I asked them, have you not met guys? They're like, no, it's not what I want. Okay, so what do you want? Okay, he must be tall, 6 feet plus. He must be dark, ebony, melanin popping. He must have pink lips, and that is ebony, and his eyes must be very white. Then he must have hooded eyes. When he does like this, you'll be seeing Michael Scofield. If you watch Prison Break, you know what I mean. Then he must be broad-chested and ripped. He must be athletic. He must be a prayer warrior. When he's praying like this, the building will be shaking. And when he declares a thing, he must also be prophetic and a man that sees vision. He must know relationship like Pastor K. He must be a preacher. He must be a business tycoon. He must come from a well-to-do home. As you are saying it, your angel is ticking. Be writing, be adding to the list. It's taking time. There's no problem. God will give you what you want. It's just that it will take you time. It's okay. But sometimes, my question is, this list you are writing, are you the kind of person that the person on that list will also like? So you are writing long list, demanding things that no human being can have all those qualities. One person. No. At least even if he has all these things, you have K-leg. What happened? Only you. And God will not invest everything in only you. It's not, he's a wise God and he's a good God. He will share it and it will reach all of us. So stop making unrealistic demands. Too many girls. You are set in your ways. This is how I want him to be. So okay, maybe he's even a prayer warrior. Maybe he's ripped. Maybe he's 6 feet. Maybe he's melanin popping. And then he's not so spiritual. Would you want that? Do you want that? Or maybe he has all these qualities you are looking for. And he's well-to-do and everything, but he's short. Can you manage that? Because the things that are, you must ask yourself what are the things, the deal breakers and the things that are essentials. If it's a non-essential, then maybe you should consider having that relationship. I'm not saying you should marry somebody you like. You know, I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm saying that you must look deeper at the more important qualities. Check on that list. Are there things that are really important for you? Sometimes the things you are putting on your list are the things that are delaying you. They're not necessarily what you need. Let me give you an example of my own life. When I met my husband, I had this list. I had this crazy list before I got married. Me, I would tell you, I would tell you people, I love you, so I will tell you. So I had this crazy list before I got married. And they were not lists of what I wanted. They were lists of things I did not want. So number one on my list, I didn't want to marry an Igbo man. Maybe my reasons were stupid. It's your own opinion. It was what I didn't want, and I don't like what I eat. So if I don't want, I don't want. So I said, I don't want an Igbo man because I don't like village. I'm a city girl. I'm sorry. I don't like village. And Igbo people, every December, they're in their village. Easter, they're in their village. I said, I can't deal. I cannot deal. So I told God, I said, I don't want an Igbo man. I don't want to marry an Igbo man. I also felt they were very arrogant. So an Igbo man will take care of you because he wants to show you off. You know, I had some, like I said, they're not necessarily even true. But you know, it's what you see. That's your perspective. And if you stay in your own little world, you just be creating stupid ideas. Only you, if you're not talking to other people that are sensible, you just be confusing yourself by yourself. So I told myself, I said, me, I can't marry Igbo man. Very arrogant people. They take care of their wives so they can boast. Is there really any problem with a man that takes care of his wife, even if it is to boast? But I had that notion. Second thing, I said I didn't want to marry a man that was fair in complexion. Say me, I'm yellow like this, now now go and give birth to albino. I know it's not possible, but you know, I just had those crazy things. So I don't want to marry a man that is fair. What's that? Me, I would not be buying cream. It will be buying cream. I beg, I want a man that will just have his bath and move. You know, I had all those kind of stupid things. The third thing, I didn't want a man that was hairy. I'm very hairy. So I was just thinking, God, let's not go and have gorilla. Or our children not be here, convert from head to toe. I also didn't want to marry a pastor. So I said, God, I will never marry. I don't want pastor. First of all, I'm not a pastor's wife. No pastor's wife, they are gentle. They won't be talking to you the way I'm talking to you like this. They're very gentle. They'll be telling you, bless you. Even if you're annoying them, they'll turn the other cheek. Me, I will shout to. Cannot annoy me and go scot-free. I will not see something and close my mouth, you know. So I had all those. This is not how a pastor's wife should be. Pastor's wife should be very quiet, very chill. She should be saying bless you. She should sit down in front in church, wear big hats. And I mean, I can't sit down. If something is not working, I'll stand up and go and walk it, you know. So I just had all those things in my head, like, I can't do this. So even when I was in school, a lot of guys that were very busy in ministry at the time, involved in fellowship in school and all that, they would propose me. Can't even talk to me. I know what I want and I know where I'm going. I don't want pastor. Lo and behold, everything on this list, everything I just said to you is what my husband is. My husband is a pastor. He's an Igbo man. He's very hairy. What was the last thing I said? I can't remember. Every single thing I did not want. God put everything I needed and rolled it all together and put it in that man. And today, I am so grateful to God that I didn't stick to that my stupid list. So what I'm asking you today is, your list stupid? Is it unrealistic? Look at it and judge for yourself that all these things, can it be one human being? Meanwhile, there's one great guy that has been hanging around you. Bring out your list. He's not. No. I can't do this myself. No, he's not 6 feet. Ooh, he's 5'11". No. 6'1". No, I can't do 5'11". You can't do 5'11". May you not end up with 4'3". If you can't do 5'11", ask yourself sincerely, what are the things that are important? Is he kind? Does he love the Lord? Is he generous? Is he a man that listens to me? Is he a man that cares about me? These were all the things I asked myself. My husband was crazy about me. He would listen to me. He wanted my dreams to come to pass. He wanted me to be happy. He would ask my opinion. Those were the things that were important to me. I didn't even know. I was there talking about, I don't want pastor. I don't want pastor. I don't want pastor. Imagine if I had kept saying that, I would still be single today. Because it seemed like only pastors were proposing to me. So that's the second mistake, having unrealistic lists. The third one, seeing men as trees. I'm going to explain that, but that, I couldn't come up with a title that could really explain what I was trying to say, so I had to use this. And I'll tell you where I got it. I got it from the story of where Jesus healed the blind man. There was a blind man who was asking for Jesus to heal him, and then Jesus took mud from the ground and spat into it and mixed it and rubbed it on the guy's eyes and told him to go and wash. And the guy washed his eyes, and Jesus said, "What do you see?" And the man said, "I see men as trees." And then Jesus put his hands on his eyes again and prayed for him again, and then he was healed. And then he began to see men as men. Listen, That scripture always, for me, it always speaks of not seeing things for what they are. He said he was seeing men, but as trees. So they were men, but he wasn't really seeing them the way he should see them. And that sometimes is the mistake that single girls make. So you see someone and you have commonized him. He's just a guy. So you don't really see him as husband material, if there's such a thing. You are seeing him as just a guy. Or the worst one, he's my friend. So I see a lot of girls and I say, this guy is hanging around you. How far now? You know, I say, Pastor, no, this one, he's just my friend. And my question is he your enemy you will marry before? It's not your friend you will marry. Once, because a guy is your friend or you friend zoned him, you will never see him as potential husband material. And it is one of the prayers you need to pray for yourself, that God will open your eyes to begin to see men and not as trees. Because too many women have friend-zoned good men. So you're expecting the guy to be someone you've never met before, one spectacular guy that is coming from somewhere. It may just be your friend. My husband and I were friends. I didn't see him as a potential. In fact, apart from all the other things I said I didn't like about him, by the time we started getting close and I started saying, this guy is not such a bad guy, but I had friend-zoned him. I tried to. Let me not say I friend-zoned him. I tried friend-zoning him. The guy was not agreeing. So he would send me a message. I would say, thanks for checking up on your baby sister. Omo, who is your baby sister? He would just ignore that part of the message and just continue to talk to me as if, nobody's playing with you. Why are you? You're trying to friend-zone me. Me, I'm smarter than that. And so after a while, I started seeing a possibility. Even though we had such a friendship that I was literally going to friend-zone him because I kept thinking of him as tree and not as a man. So my husband and I were such good friends that I would do something and he would push my head. You know how you push your younger sisters and say, see this one? That's how we were so playful, we're such good friends. So I didn't see it. So when I even started sensing that, well, this may be what God is saying, and then I got a word from God that this is the guy, you know, I struggled with it a bit too. I was like, this one, no. Because, you know, see, finish can enter when somebody's your friend. And like, this one, not romantic. He doesn't even try. You just say, one day we went out, and I said to him, you can't even open door for somebody. He said, you aren't paying you. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? That's how much of a regular guy he was to me. Like, if somebody wants to marry you or somebody's toasting you, you tell him that, you know, if you even say it, you open doors for you, those kind of things that are romantic, pull out chair. My husband say, I'm not paying you. Or we'll go somewhere. I remember we went somewhere and we bought food and they forgot to put 2 spoons. And he said, it's not going to do gentleman here. That's 2 of us will share that spoon. And we'll count it. I will take 1 spoon. We'll take 1 spoon. Do you understand? So I could have just said, this one is not marriage material because it's not acting like, I'm the man, I'm the head, You will just miss a great guy because you are not seeing him for what he really is. So that's the third mistake. Seeing men as trees and not as men. Not seeing them for the potential that they have to be the amazing husband that they can be, because he's just one of the guys, your friend, this one. When God say, are you really looking at it and say, this one? Me, this one? I beg, I can't marry this guy. But he may just be the exact person that you need, okay? So number 4, this one, premarital sex, mistakes single girls make. You are sleeping with the guy now and you think he's going to marry you. Let me tell you the truth. I heard, I think it was, I can't remember now, but a while back, I was still single. I was still very young, in fact, when I heard that saying, that why buy the cow when the milk is free? And that was, so two guys were talking, and then someone was asking, I read it somewhere, 2 guys were talking, and then someone was asking about the guy and the girl that he was with. He had been with the girl for years. And so his friend was asking him, that, you've been with this girl for years, so when are you going to make an honest woman of her? And when are you going to marry her? And the guy said, why buy the cow when the milk is free? In other words, he was getting everything he already would need in marriage anyway. He was sleeping with her, she was cooking for him, she was coming over for the weekends to clean and to do everything. So what exactly is the reason why he should marry you? So you're having sex now, you're increasing your appetite for sexual intimacies that you may not even need. You're sleeping around, this one doesn't marry, you sleep with another one, this one doesn't marry, you sleep with another one. You're messing up your life. Not to mention the amount of diseases that you can possibly pick up, or the fact that those diseases can lead to infertility. So when you do marry, then we'll now come and start praying in Hannah's heart. Premarital sex is wrong. Let me tell you. The Bible says that premarital sex is wrong. Premarital sex is wrong. I know it's not a cool thing to say these days, because I mean, how would you marry somebody that you have not tested? How will you marry somebody that you've not tried out? How will you know if you're sexually compatible? Listen, God's plan was that two people would marry, and then they would spend the rest of their lives figuring out themselves sexually, enjoying themselves sexually, not to finish the honey before you get to the honeymoon. So a lot of times when people now get married, they're tired. So you have finished the race, but when we now blow whistle on your mass sets go, you can't go anymore because there's nothing left. All your energy has been used. Listen, this sex that you are rushing to do in marriage is work. So in marriage, there will be beautiful sex and dutiful sex. Beautiful sex is both of you are in the mood, you tear your clothes everywhere, jumping everywhere, falling everywhere. Nobody scatter, nobody breaks plates, but let me just help you, because you have been watching a romantic movie. It's not true. We don't break plates, because number one, if you break it, we clean it. Number two, we replace it. They don't do all those things. So you do all those things. That's beautiful sex. Dutiful sex is you are not in the mood, but your husband is in the mood. What's the alternative? Should he go outside? You adjust yourself and pretend like it is beautiful sex. And if you do it well enough, it will turn to beautiful sex. So premarital sex is a no-no, absolute no. It is wrong even if you are in love. Premarital sex is wrong even if you are in love. Premarital sex is wrong even if you use a condom. Oh, I'm going to tell you a sad story. Let me tell you the sad story of this girl, my amazing daughter that used to be in church before she got married. Her first time, she was in her final year, third year in school. So her friends have started making fun of her that you are still a virgin, you're not even ashamed of yourself, can you say a virgin? Things like that. And these days, people that are doing the wrong thing are so bold. They almost intimidate those of you that are doing the right thing. Listen, there's still a lot of people who are sexually pure. As my husband would say, you are the only one remaining. There's still so many people that are getting married as virgins, male and female. So I'm saying this to you. I'm also going to go after the men, because it takes two, male and female. We're wedding in fact, I think the ratio that we have wedded is more. We've wedded more virgins than more non-virgins, two of them. And you ask, how do I know? Because I know you people. I know you ask questions. You say, how do I know? How do you know? Maybe they are pretending for you. Because even after the wedding, we now have to come and now start teaching them what to do, where to put what, and what to touch what. So I'm telling you, you are the only one left. Satan is still deceiving you. Come out. Come out from there and stop it. So this girl, her friends were making fun of her in her third year. True life story, I know this girl, not that they gisted me or somebody gisted me, like my daughter, I can't call her name. Third year in school, her friends were making fun of her that you have not had sex. So Valentine's Day, she now said, okay. Her boyfriend had been stopping her anyway, and I'm telling him, no. So she said she was going to do with him on Valentine's Day. So they used the condom. A few months down the line, she was ill. So she thought she had malaria. So she went to the hospital and they did a full test for her. Found out she was HIV positive. She went to the guy and told the guy. The guy said, oh, he was HIV positive, but he used the condom. So he assumed nothing will happen. So apparently, who knew? Maybe the condom had a hole. Could be a tiny hole. Some things, anything happened. Or maybe the condom tore. Anything can happen. Maybe in the heat of passion. Condom, anything could have happened. That's the honest truth. Till today, I'm telling you, that girl is HIV positive. Till today. She had to be taking drugs. She had to also marry somebody who was HIV positive as well. It was a whole different, it was drama. Every time I see her, I'm like, this girl, her life could have turned out differently. Her choices were limited, because all the people that even liked her, when they hear she's HIV positive, they will go their way, because they cannot come and shout. So her choices of who to marry were now limited. So anything happens, all those were using a condom. Using a condom does not negate the fact that it is sin. Anything that displeases God is sin. So premarital sex is one huge mistake. You think you can change a man's mind because you're sleeping with him. Do you know how many other girls are sleeping with him? You have no idea. It's a mad world out there. So if you can preserve yourself, please preserve yourself. Do not use it as a trade. You don't trade sex for marriage. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.